Divine Eye Appraiser, in Another World Volume 4 Part 1 Chapter 4, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble Episode 198, Prologue. Splash. This is such good water. Soaking in the hot spring, I exhaled softly. Beside me was Sunny, narrowing its eyes contentedly. Alright, we're warmed up. Time to head out. Pickia. Calling out to Sunny, I stepped out of the hot spring. I then bought coffee, and downed it in one go. It was a local specialty thanks to Maria. Phew. Yep, that's good stuff. Stretching out with a big yawn, I left the bathhouse and strolled around the hot spring town with Sunny. The town was bustling, with public baths everywhere. They were all drawing hot water from the same spring. Every bathhouse was packed with visitors, and the inns built around them were thriving. Even though the hot spring source was the same, and thus the benefits were identical everywhere, the bathhouses competed for customers with their services. My favorite was a bathhouse called Hometown Springs, which offered a variety of products that recreated the flavors of Earth, like the coffee I had earlier. Of course, this was largely thanks to Maria, who ran the place. Honestly, the one having the most fun with all this is Maria. At first, Maria complained about how hard it was to manage everything. But after a while, he seemed to enjoy it and started putting his own spin on the place. I had to laugh when he brought over crops he'd grown himself. But since they've now become local specialties, I really can't complain. In fact, I'm more grateful than anything. I get to enjoy it all myself. Now, under Maria's guidance, people here have even started cultivating new crops. It sparked an unexpected wave of innovation. Makey-kun. As I walked leisurely, someone waved to me from down the road and approached. What's up, Madoka? Geez. I told you today was the day for hunting magical beasts, didn't I? I know that, but is it already over? That was quick. Madoka, the special class sage, puffed out her cheeks slightly. Her speed was surprising, though. It was just past noon. Normally, when the soldiers started hunting magical beasts, it would take until nearly evening. Gregory was with us, and even Lirina-san helped out today. Lirina-san? What, she wanted to level up or something? Seems like it. She was super motivated, saying she wanted to prove herself to the Maguire family. Prove herself to her family, huh? I feel like she's already done that, though. Now that I think about it, Dietrich-sama mentioned investigating why the Maguire family had sent Lirina-san here. I wonder how that's going. Maybe I'll ask him the next time I invite him over. Alright, I'm off. You should try the hot spring, Madoka. It's really nice during the day, too. Makey-kun, were you lounging in the hot spring instead of working? Hey, I work hard every day, alright? Can't I take a break once in a while? Just kidding. See you later. With that, Madoka headed toward the direction of Hometown Springs. Yeah, she's definitely going for a soak. Still, I can't help but wonder about Lirina-san. Even though His Majesty praises her, she still feels the need to prove herself to her family. Honestly, I don't think she needs to. If her family causes trouble here, I'll protect Lirina-san with everything I've got. After all, she's as important as Maria when it comes to managing this hot spring town. I wonder if there's something going on with her. Maybe I'll ask her about it later. I could figure it out instantly using my appraisal skill, but it feels wrong to pry into someone's private matters just out of curiosity. If it were a dangerous situation, sure. But otherwise, it'd be a huge breach of trust. Once everything's ready, I need to call His Majesty and Dietrich-sama too. Muttering to myself, I began pondering how best to show them hospitality. Episode 199, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 1. That day, after finishing my stroll and returning to the inn I was using as my base in the hot spring town, Alicia called out to me. Makey-san, the male bird from His Majesty and the others should be returning soon. Shall we discuss the hospitality plans? I was just thinking about that. Thanks for bringing it up. Also, I heard Haruko-san has come up with a great idea. Oh? So Akige-sensei has something in mind. Maybe I should just leave the whole thing to her. Makey-san, are you perhaps thinking of leaving everything to Haruko-san? Huh? Of course not. Ha ha. How did she figure that out? For now, let's hear what she has to say. Most of the key people have gathered, so shall we head over? All right. With Alicia glaring at me suspiciously, I followed her to the room where everyone had gathered. Inside were not just Sensei, but also Glenn, Lee-Rina-san, Madoka, Yuria, Arata, and Moriyo. Let's begin the hospitality planning meeting for welcoming His Majesty and the others. Hospitality planning meeting? What even is that? While I pondered that, everyone began discussing various ways to extend hospitality. Naturally, hosting in the hot springs was a given, but they debated over the type of services to provide and what delicious dishes to prepare. Personally, I thought we could just serve popular dishes from Grand Zawal. Hey, Alicia. Forget the hot springs and services for a moment. For the food, why don't we just serve popular Grand Zawal cuisine? That won't do. Why not? Why not? His Majesty and the others are used to enjoying incredible meals at the royal castle. If we serve Grand Zawal's cuisine, it might not even measure up to the common flavors of the royal capital. Hey, isn't that a bit harsh? And you're bad-mouthing your own territory too much, don't you think? Alicia-san, I have a suggestion regarding that, Sensei interjected. Oh, so this must be the idea that was mentioned earlier. What is it, Haruko-san? How about we enlist the help of the students still in the Shredden Kingdom to handle the cooking? The students? Does that mean someone in the class is skilled at cooking? But these are dishes for His Majesty. I don't mean to sound rude, but isn't it a bit risky to have children prepare the food? Yeah, that's a valid concern. If something goes wrong, it could cause a serious problem. Just imagining my classmates' cooking ending up on the royal table makes me uneasy. But Sensei continued with a confident smile. The students have received intermediate class professions or higher. That includes not just combat classes but support ones as well. Support classes too. Oh. Could it be that there's someone with a culinary profession? Alicia gasped in realization, and Sensei nodded broadly with a smirk. Exactly. So I thought we could invite those students here to prepare the meals. That's an excellent idea, Haruko-san. Professions specializing in cooking at the intermediate class are considered top tier in their own right. Don't tell me. You're not about to say there's an advanced class chef among them, are you? Fufafu. There is, isn't there? I can't wait to see this. Wait a minute, isn't Alicia getting too excited? Actually, it's not just her. Glenn and Lee-Rina-san seem to be just as eager. What kind of dishes can an advanced class chef make? I'm so glad I came here. Hey, Glenn. Are advanced class culinary professions really that impressive? I asked out of curiosity, and Glenn launched into an enthusiastic explanation. Impressive doesn't even begin to describe it. An advanced class chef is on par with the royal palace's head chef. That means we'd get to eat the same food as royalty. Oh really? But would Shredden even lend us someone that valuable? Surely someone like that must be highly valued in Shredden. They might even hold the position of head chef there. Even after I voiced my concerns, Sensei's smile remained unwavering. Episode 200, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 2. Episode 200, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 2. It's fine. Everyone is free to do as they please now, especially since the new system isn't restrictive anymore. Everyone? Wait, you mean there's more than one person with a culinary profession? I couldn't help but let out a surprised gasp, and Alicia and the others turned their wide-eyed gazes to Sensei. That's right. There's one with an advanced class profession and another with an intermediate one. Both of them have always loved cooking and are quite skilled at it. That's fantastic. Oh, I can't wait to meet them, and taste their food. Alicia, your inner thoughts are leaking everywhere. It didn't seem like she was even trying to hide it, though. Even after I pointed it out, she just stared upward, likely daydreaming about delicious dishes. Well, if they're that good, I suppose we can leave it to them. Of course. Let's entrust it to them, Haruko-san. Fufafu, it's decided then. I'll arrange for us to head to the Shredden Kingdom at the right time. Lee-Rina-san, I'll need your help for that. Yes. Understood. To use a teleportation magic circle, Lee-Rina-san's assistance was essential. When Sensei called out to her, she replied. But, Her distracted demeanor was hard to miss. Let's finalize the menu once they arrive. Thanks to Moriya-san, we have Japanese seasonings and appliances. So we should be able to serve some unique dishes. Haha. The appliances are mostly thanks to Maki-kun's efforts. I didn't do much. As the meeting progressed at a brisk pace, no one seemed to notice Lirina-san's preoccupied state. I hoped it was just my imagination, but maybe I'd check in with her later. By the way, Sensei, who are these students with culinary professions? If I had to guess, I'd say Sumaya-chan. If there are two of them, Momiyu should be the other one. Note, it's Momiyu in the raw, but Momiyu sounds nicer. Momiyu-ren is a dude and Yakusumaya is a girl. Hearing this talk about fellow otherworlders, Madoka and the others were all ears. As for me, I wasn't particularly curious. The students mentioned were probably great at cooking, but I'd never interacted with them. Correct. Those two are the ones. Momiyu-kun is an advanced class head chef, and Yaku-san is an intermediate class pastry chef. Wait, Ren-kun is that good at cooking? Sumaya-chan is amazing too, isn't she? Momiyu's cooking skills were pretty famous among the guys. Some people even swarmed him for his bento. Seriously? And here I am, a fellow guy, completely unaware of this. When I tried their food in Shridden, Momiyu-kun handled the main courses while Yaku-san took care of desserts. Ugh. Sensei, don't tell us that. Sumaya-chan's cakes were so delicious. I'd love to have Momiyu's bento again. So you were one of the swarming group, huh? Arata? Hearing everyone talk about it makes me want to try their food too. Me too, sis. Haruka-san, please make sure to bring them here. Of course. While everyone was getting hyped up, Lirina-san still seemed lost in her thoughts. Quietly, I moved to her side and asked what was wrong. Lirina-san, huh? Oh, Maki-sama, when did you get here? You seem a bit down. Is something bothering you? Do I? Haha, no, it's nothing like that. She was clearly trying to brush it off, but it was easy to tell something was on her mind. If something's troubling you, let me know. Even if you can't talk to me, there are plenty of reliable people around who can help. Alicia and Sensei in particular seemed dependable. And if she needed someone experienced, there was always Ryan-san. For someone closer to Lirina-san, Sabaz-san or Nico might be good options. When I said that, she looked surprised for a moment but then gave me a small smile and nodded slightly. Thank you, Maki-sama. In that case, could I consult with you later? Of course. If I can help, I will. By the time I turned my attention back to the meeting, the hospitality discussion had reached its climax. Shortly before noon, it finally concluded. Episode 201, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 3. Episode 201, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 3. After lunch, we had free time. So I invited Lirina-san to join Snow and me for an outing. At her request, we headed to an unexpected destination, the Forest of Demons. Lirina-san? Why the Forest of Demons? To level up. Why are you so fixated on leveling up? You didn't seem this determined at the start. Well, that apostrophe s. True, but there's definitely a deeper reason behind this. Why don't you talk to me about it? You didn't come here solely to grind levels, right? Encouraged by my question, Lirina-san looked down for a moment but eventually began to speak slowly. Actually, it's about my family. Madoka mentioned something too. Did the Maguire family say something? Yes. As I listened, it became clear that her family was trying to take advantage of her success in Grand Zawal. They wanted to bring her back home and send her eldest brother in her place, effectively giving him the credit for her achievements. No offense, but no one except you is needed here. We're already fine as we are. I'm glad to hear you say that, but my family doesn't see it that way. So, you're trying to become strong enough to prove your worth and resist them? Yes. Based on what I know, Lirina-san shouldn't have anything to worry about. She's been relentlessly hunting magical beasts in the Forest of Demons. Do you know your father's or brother's levels? No, I don't. But both my father and brother work at the royal castle, so I imagine their levels must be high. I see. Are they both advanced classes? That's right. Currently, Lirina-san's level is 50. This is significantly higher than Nascent-san, the vice commander with an advanced class profession. I met him during my first visit to the royal capital. Even though the Maguire family comes from a prestigious lineage of mages, it's hard to believe her father or brother surpass her. Especially if they share the same magic-based class. Lirina-san, you're already level 50. It's hard to imagine them being stronger. I think so too, but I can't shake the uncertainty. Perhaps this is the result of years of mistreatment. She still lacks confidence in herself. While she's gained assurance in her knowledge through her frequent use of the erudite skill, she hasn't had close comparisons to measure her strength. Maybe I should ask Dietrich Sama about the current situation of the Maguire family. Or perhaps we could summon her father here, that would allow for a more direct confrontation. Hey, Lirina-san. Have your father or brother ever been called here? And no way. If that happened, they drag me back immediately. Wouldn't it be better to confront them directly and prove them wrong? Directly? What if I lose? I don't want to leave this place yet. Is it really something to worry about that much? Well, I can't force her, so maybe it's better to let her handle it her way for now. Alright. I won't stop you from leveling up, but don't push yourself too hard. We need you here, Lirina-san. Thank you so much, Maki-sama. I really think you're strong enough already, though. Sorry. Lirina-san probably senses the truth too, but she didn't outright deny it. Instead, she gave a bittersweet smile. If only His Majesty had summoned someone from the Maguire family, at least her father, then we could settle this head-on. Episode 202, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 4. Episode 202, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 4. The next day, Sensei and Lirina-san used teleportation to travel to the kingdom of Shriden. And by the day after, they had already returned to the hot spring town. Did the two cooks prepare to come here beforehand? That's how fast they arrived. Well, the sooner the better, so I'm not complaining. It's been a while, everyone. It's been a while. The energetic greeting came from Momuren, an advanced class head chef. The quieter one came from Yakusumaya, an intermediate class pastry chef. I knew about them but had never spoken to them before. Long time no see, Momu. Sumaya-chan, it's been a while. It's been a while, both of you. While I might not have talked to them before, the same couldn't be said for Madoka and the others. They casually struck up conversations, exchanged greetings, and the in-room quickly became lively. Whoa. You're really alive, Maki. Huh? Me? Who else would I mean? You're the only Maki in this room. I didn't expect Momu to speak to me so suddenly. And I blinked repeatedly in surprise. Well, yeah, I guess. What's with you, man? Is this your usual personality? What's usual? What kind of personality do you think I have? I'd say a clueless type. I'm not clueless, though. Oh? Then maybe you're just naturally airheaded. Not that either. Seriously, if anyone here is airheaded, it's Momu. I glanced at Harata for help, but he had no intention of stepping in. Instead, he gave me a thumbs up, silently cheering me on. Hey, Maki. I heard from Sensei that you have Japanese cooking tools. Is that true? Well, yeah. And you made them yourself? For real? I mean, technically, yeah. That's amazing. Do you cook too, Maki? I love cooking. No, I don't. You've got the wrong idea, Momu. Oh, really? Well, whatever. I'm just thrilled the tools are here. Oh, and just call me Ren. Using last names is too formal for people our age. This guy is airheaded and completely does his own thing. Honestly, he's a handful. Mahiro-kun? At that moment, Yaku-san spoke up hesitantly. She seemed much more manageable than Momu. It's been a while, Yaku-san. Why yeah. I'm really glad you're okay. Haha, well, I survived thanks to a series of miracles. Hey, Maki. Show me those cooking tools. Can you celebrate my survival a little more first? I am celebrating. Congrats, Maki. Forget it. Not wanting to deal with the hassle anymore, I decided to show Momu the cooking tools as he requested. This way. By the way, you've already greeted Alicia, the local lord, right? What's wrong, Yaku-san? We haven't yet. What? Hold up, Momu. Did you just say you haven't greeted the lord yet? Did you come straight here without doing that first? Sensei. Well, Momoyu-kun wasn't really listening. Hey, Maki. Come on, show me the tools already. No. The Lord must be greeted first, but I want to see the tools. Follow me. Wait, the tools are this way? Of course not. We're going to see the Lord. Yaku-san, are you good with this? Why yeah. Please take the lead. No way. I want to see the tools. Stop whining. Arata, drag him along. Me? Obviously. You tried to leave everything to me, so it's your turn to deal with this fallout. Thus, we dragged Momoyu along, kicking and screaming, to the room where Alicia awaited us. Episode 203, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 5. Episode 203, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 5. I practically dragged Momoyu and Yaku-san to Alicia's room. While Alicia kindly said it was fine since it was a reunion with friends, I had to teach them, especially Momoyu, the importance of following proper procedures. After all, we've finished our greetings. Now, Maki, let's head straight to the kitchenware. Shut it. Why do you only ever talk about kitchenware? Huh? Isn't that normal? No, it's not. At first, Alicia was taken aback, watching my back and forth with Momoyu. But her expression soon softened into one that seemed amused, as if she found the scene endearing. No, let me make it clear. It's not like Momoyu and I are close friends or anything. His only focus here is the kitchenware. You may go, Maki-san. See? Even the Lord is giving her blessing. You. Ha. Fine, fine. Woohoo. Then, my lady, I'll make sure you're delighted with lunch today. Tilda. Hey, use proper honorifics. Note, while Momoyu calls Alicia with the formal title, the end of the sentence in the raw uses an informal tone. Thank you very much, Momoyu-san. Right. Alicia was excited to taste Momoyu's cooking, being an advanced class chef. In hindsight, maybe I didn't need to insist on them greeting her in the first place. Then, in that case, I'll prepare the dessert, my lady. Really? Thank you, Yaku-san. I could forgive Yaku-san. After all, her offer was genuinely thoughtful and considerate toward Alicia. Hey, Maki. Isn't there a clear difference in how you treat me and Suma, huh? Of course there is. Whoa, you're not even hiding it. Because your attitude is awful. Is it? Well, whatever. Let's go already. And so, leaving behind a delighted Alicia, we headed to the kitchen. The moment we arrived at the kitchen, Momoyu's excitement shot through the roof. Whoa, oh. This is incredible. You can adjust the flame on the stove. There's even a microwave and a blender. It is amazing, Momoyu-kun. I'm so glad I came here. Me too. Alright, with this setup, I can give my absolute best in the kitchen. Momoyu and Yaku-san began rolling up their sleeves enthusiastically. I'd expected Momoyu's reaction, but I hadn't thought Yaku-san would mirror his excitement. As cooking enthusiasts, they might have been dissatisfied with the cooking tools available here up until now. If there's anything I can help with, let me know. Even Sensei's pitching in. Is that okay, Sensei? If it's something simple, I think I can help. Awesome. Let's go all out with this meal. Going all out, huh? Whatever that means. I held back the urge to comment and left the three of them to their preparations while the rest of us moved to the dining hall. Seeing Madoka and the others getting excited about the upcoming meal made me wonder if I'd been the only one taking things too seriously. No, that's definitely not it. The weird ones are Alicia and Madoka's group, not me. Sigh. Somehow, this is also exhausting. No one heard me. Instead, I found myself listening to the lively voices of the three back in the kitchen. Well, as long as they're having fun, I guess it's fine. And so, convincing myself that this level of hassle was tolerable, I refocused on looking forward to the lunch ahead. Episode 204, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 6. Episode 204, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 6. After a while, we all gathered in the dining room, but something felt off. There seemed to be more people than usual. Of course, Alicia and Glenn were here, but today we also had Ryan-san, Vil-san, and Rigot-san. Even Lirina-san, who had been down earlier, was there. She was now smiling and waiting for the food. I couldn't help but think that my worries had been unnecessary. If everyone was feeling better, that was all that mattered. Good food truly is amazing. As I was lost in thought, I saw Mommy cheerfully come out from the kitchen. All done, Tilda. We've been waiting. Seeing everyone speak in unison made it clear how much they had been looking forward to this, and it wasn't just Alicia and the others. Madoka and the rest seemed just as excited. Sumaya-chan's desserts. It's been a while, huh? I'm looking forward to your cooking, Ren. I've never had it before. I'm excited too. It's been so long. I've had your food in Shridden, and it was really delicious. As we chatted, the food kept coming out to the table. The servers were swallowing nervously as they carried each dish, which, in a way, felt almost like torture. I just hoped there would be leftovers to eat later. For the appetizers, we have a salad with a Japanese-style dressing, a potage soup, and the main dish is garlic teriyaki cockatrice. I never thought I'd hear the word Japanese-style in this world. But as the familiar scent filled my nostrils, I couldn't help but feel a sense of nostalgia. This brings back memories. I unintentionally muttered aloud, then quickly snapped out of it. I had to be careful. If I acted like I was getting carried away, it would look like I was losing to Momu. I didn't need to compete with him, but getting swept up in his pace might cause trouble later. I needed to keep calm. Has everyone gotten their food, Tilda? Alright then, let's eat. Itadakimasu. I never thought we'd all say itadakimasu in unison. Wow. This is so delicious, Momu-san. The soup's great too, Nei-san. Whoa, I feel like I'm filled with energy. Yeah. It's so good. I never thought I'd get to eat such delicious food. Is this really okay? I've never had food this good, either at home or in the capital. As everyone shared their thoughts, Madoka and the others eagerly dug into their food. Wow, really? Momu-kun, you're amazing. Whoa. You can't judge a book by its cover. This is even better than what I had in Japan, right? It might be thanks to the skills I've gained. But as long as it's tasty, who cares? Momu stood proudly, hands on his hips. If everyone said it was that good, I guess I should try it too. Whoa. Yeah. This is amazing. I can't stop eating. The refreshing salad with the dressing was easy to eat without overpowering the natural flavors of the ingredients. The soup was so rich and provided a completely different flavor experience compared to the salad. And then, there was the main dish. Honestly, I could be fine with just this. The garlic teriyaki cockatrice is incredible. The meat of the cockatrice was delicious, and the garlic brought out its natural flavor even more, with the teriyaki sauce adding an extra layer of deliciousness. If there was rice, it'd be perfect. But that was probably too difficult even for Moriyo. I remembered there hadn't been any rice in Shridden either. But surely, I'd find some eventually in this vast continent. For now, I'd have to settle for bread. Huh? Why am I even thinking about this? Oh, whatever. I didn't want to think about anything unnecessary while eating such delicious food. That went for everyone here, not just me. In the quiet dining room, all we could hear were the sounds of people enjoying their meal. Those who had finished eating were soaking in the aftertaste, and some were already thinking about dinner. Once everyone had finished, we waited for the right moment, and then, we've got dessert, too. Yaku-san's voice came from the kitchen. Episode 205, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 7. Episode 205, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 7. We've been waiting for this. The women's group all cheered in unison, as expected of the ladies. They say dessert is a separate stomach, but is that really true? Honestly, I'm already completely full. Here you go, Mahiro-kun. Thank you, Yaku-san. With a gentle smile, Yaku-san placed the dessert she had made herself on the table. Huh? What is this feeling? I suddenly feel incredibly soothed. Lately, things have been hectic, and all the women here are combatants. So maybe a support role woman like her feels refreshing. Hey, Maki-kun, Maki-tilda? Were you just thinking something weird, Tilda? Is that so, Mahiro? Of course not. Come on, let's eat already. Why are women so sharp about things like this? Also, the amount of dessert on their plates is nearly double what I have. Is that Ryan-san's? Surprisingly, even Ryan-san's plate had the same portion size as the women's. So Ryan-san has a sweet tooth, huh? Itadakimasu. The women and Ryan-san began eating their desserts, fluffy chiffon cake. This softness. What is this? The first to share their thoughts was Ryan-san. What is this? It's so soft. Wow. I've never eaten anything like this before. I can't stop eating this after such a long time. Sumaya-chan's cakes are the best. Yufufu. It really is so delicious. The women's reactions followed, filling the air. When I took a bite myself, I had to admit, this was the best cake I've ever had. Even back in Japan, I don't think I ever had anything as delicious as this. To think one of my classmates could make such an incredible cake. I'm glad it suits everyone's taste. Who wouldn't love this, Yako-san? Absolutely, Sumaya-sama. Thank you. Perhaps flustered by the overwhelming praise from Alicia and Rigot-san, Yako-san looked a bit embarrassed. This is good enough to serve to His Majesty without issue. Ah, really? Yes. You should have confidence in it. I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. Thank you very much. Yako-san responded energetically to Ryan-san's words of praise. As expected, his age brings a certain weight to his words. Through the girls seemed stunned by the unexpected source of compliments. Yufufu. Ryan-san, you do have a sweet tooth. It's surprising, isn't it, Vice Captain? Don't drag me into this. Rigot-san really knows how to tease Ryan-san here. As for Vil-san, well, it's understandable given Ryan-san is his direct superior. What about you, Mihiro-kun? Oh, it was delicious. I've never had such an amazing cake, even in Japan. Really? Yufufu, thank you. This really is healing. So, what do you think, Alicia-san? Like Ryan-sama said, does this seem suitable to serve to His Majesty? Yes. Both the dishes and desserts are absolutely fine. If we can increase the variety and cater to personal tastes, it'll be perfect. Hearing Alicia's answer, Ryan-san gave a big nod. But clearly, that nod was directed toward the dessert. He's still eating, after all. I see, that's good. How about you two? Can you manage to increase the variety? I'm fine. We have plenty of ingredients, and I can't wait to start. I'm fine as well. We even found substitutes for sugar, so I think I can make a lot of things. Ho ho. That sounds exciting. Ryan-san. Ahem. Excuse me, Yufufu. Then, Yako-san, Momoyu-san, I leave the preparations for His Majesty's meal in your capable hands. Understood. And with that, the tasting session ended with everyone fully satisfied. Episode 206, Royal Capital Angrisa 1. Episode 206, Royal Capital Angrisa 1. A single male bird flew in from Grand Zawal. I see. This is quite intriguing. Chancellor Dietrich Hohenheim smiled upon confirming the letter's contents. He then promptly headed to meet Winstra Delreed, the King of Adelreed. Knock, knock, knock. This is Dietrich. Your Majesty, a letter has arrived from Mihiro-sama. Understood. Enter. Excuse me. Dietrich entered Winstra's private chamber. Inside, the king was enjoying coffee gifted by Maki, looking relaxed. So, what does Mihiro have to say? Yes, apparently, a place called the Onsen District in Grand Zawal has been completed. Mihiro-sama wishes for your Majesty to see it for yourself. Ho ho. He dares summon me? Mihiro's grown bold. Normally, summoning the king of a nation would be seen as disrespectful. But Winstra didn't seem to mind. Instead, he simply smiled. It seems he has enlisted Moriya-sama's help, using teleportation magic to facilitate travel between here and there. What? Then we can conduct this inspection without much time lost. Precisely, Your Majesty. It seems Mihiro-sama is quite confident in this onsen. It's very intriguing. Winstra smirked at Dietrich's implicit suggestion that he wanted to go too and nodded enthusiastically. Indeed. Then we must select those who will accompany us. Naturally, you and I are certain to go. What's with that relieved look on your face? Nothing at all. Winstra noticed Dietrich's delighted expression and teased him with a grin. Although Dietrich denied it, his slightly reddened face betrayed him. You are undoubtedly the greatest contributor in our dealings with Mihiro and the others. And knowing Mihiro, he's sure to have prepared something as wonderful as this coffee. Thank you, Your Majesty. Now, back to the matter at hand. Who else shall we bring? While there were many deserving of recognition, the protection of Angrisa could not be neglected. Considering Maki and those connected to Uria, there were many knights who came to mind. It caused Winston some deliberation. However, as if sensing an opportunity, an unexpected visitor arrived at the king's chamber. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Dietrich frowned at the improper knocking at the king's private quarters. But Winston seemed to be expecting the visitor. He chuckled wryly. Enter. As if in sync with Winston's reply, the door opened. It revealed none other than the Knight Commander, Vigil Langdoria. Your Majesty. Pardon my intrusion. Thy knocking is truly improper, art thou not? My apologies. But surely, a letter has arrived, hasn't it? From Uriya. Not from Kondo-sama, but from Mahiro-sama, Commander Vigil. Does it matter who it's from? So, what does it say? Are they coming here again? Since witnessing a mock battle between Maki's familiar, Sunny, and Dietrich, Vigil had been itching for combat. Realizing it was futile to demand anything from Maki, he pinned his hopes on Uriya, who was always willing to spar. Uriya must have grown even stronger. What man wouldn't get fired up by this? None. Not one. Ah, enough, Vigil. You're being loud. My apologies, Your Majesty. That's loud too. Besides, this time, they won't be coming here, we'll be going there. What? To Grand Zawal, where the Forest of Demons lies. Then you'll need an escort. Yes, I'm perfect for the job. Quite the leap in logic, Commander Vigil. Compliments won't get you anything, Chancellor. Bahahaha, Dietrich muttered in mild exasperation. But Vigil misinterpreted it as praise, and instead, bursted into laughter. Regardless, bringing an escort was necessary. So Vigil was selected as a companion. Can I leave the rest of the selection to you, Dietrich? Leave it to me, Your Majesty. There is one person I absolutely wish to bring. She has a connection to someone involved. Will that be acceptable? She? Ah, her. Of course. Show her everything in full. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll take my leave. Farewell, Your Majesty. Bahahaha. Thus, preparations on Winston's side steadily progressed. Episode 207, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 8. Episode 207, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 8. Some time after the tasting event, a mail bird from His Majesty arrived. What does it say? I see. He says there's no problem 3 days from now. In that case, I'll go to pick them up in 3 days. Is it really okay to be so sudden, Maki-san? If His Majesty says it's fine, then it should be. Besides, when it comes to things like this, sooner is better than later. Is that so? That's how it is. I seem to recall that when important people say whenever is fine, they generally mean as soon as possible. At least, that's how it was in the light novels I've read. In the end, the idea might be that many royals and nobles, even when speaking in roundabout ways, expect you to prioritize them above all else. If that's the case, we should inform Taiku-sama as well. I'm totally fine with it. Just as Alicia was about to check, Moriya entered the room. Oh, excellent timing. It's just a coincidence. By the way, Ren-kun has made another batch of test dishes. So I came to call you both. Oh my. That sounds wonderful. Shall we go, Maki-san? Hearing Moriya's words, Alicia left the room in high spirits. I followed Moriya out of the room. But I took a moment to reconfirm the earlier conversation. Are you sure about 3 days from now? Yeah. These days, others are helping with the farm work, so I can free up my schedule pretty easily. Besides, I'm curious about what the royal capital looks like right now. Wait, so you just want to visit the capital? Do I need another reason to go all the way to the royal capital? Well, fair enough. Considering he's living quite comfortably here and by how much he's been told by me about preferring the life here, Moriya might just be trying to come up with an excuse to visit the capital. By the way, can I share one concern of mine? You have concerns? I was a little surprised by the sudden remark. But Moriya's next words made me realize I had to take his worry seriously. What if His Majesty tastes Ren-kun's cooking and decides he wants to bring them to the royal castle? What would you do then? What? Food can sometimes be the cause of wars, don't you think? If His Majesty desires their skills, what will you do? That would be a huge problem. At first, I wasn't too thrilled about Momoyu and Yakusan coming here. But after tasting their cooking and desserts, I'd been completely won over. If I had to, I could endure it. But if possible, I absolutely wouldn't want to. No, I refuse to. I'd need His Majesty to bring his own chefs here instead. Oh. Are you going to share the recipes? If I don't, they might actually be taken away. What about teaching the recipes to the chefs here? Absolutely not. Are you seriously telling me to sit back and let those two, who are in the middle of creating new recipes, be taken away? Ha ha. Looks like your stomach's been completely won over, huh? Of course. Anyone would be after eating meals that make you feel like your cheeks are falling off every morning, noon, and night. You've really changed since the early days, haven't you, Maki-kun? Why yeah, I guess. The power of good food is truly terrifying. I understood that perfectly well when you tasted the coffee I served. Ugh. Fine, I'll bring it up when I go to pick them up. Otherwise, there's a serious chance they'll actually be taken. It's not just me who doesn't want them to be taken. After seeing how excited Alicia was earlier, she'd probably be just as disappointed. And everyone else would feel the same. More than that, though, it's important to consider how Momu and Yaku-san feel about it. If a king of an entire country made such a demand, they wouldn't be able to refuse. But even so, I want to prioritize their feelings as much as possible. I'll do everything I can to make sure it doesn't happen. That's the best way to handle it. Now, let's put on a cheerful face and enjoy the delicious test dishes waiting for us. Maria gave me a light pat on the back and walked into the dining room. Seriously, you're just a kid. Well, an old man who looks like a little kid to be precise. Episode 208, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 9. Episode 208, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 9. The day to go and meet His Majesty had arrived. In the meantime, I had asked the two chefs, just in case, if they would be okay with going to the royal capital. As expected, their answer was that they wanted to stay here. What surprised me, however, was how quickly and firmly they said, "We want to stay here," instead of expressing any desire to return to the kingdom of Shridden. I had assumed it would be a choice between staying or returning. And I thought their feelings of wanting to go back would outweigh staying here. Apparently, in the beginning, they were uncertain and had planned to return after fulfilling their duties here. When I asked what changed their minds, the answer turned out to be the modern Japanese-style magical appliances I had built in my overconfidence. After seeing such amazing appliances, there's no way we could ever leave. Exactly. I was completely blown away too. I had made the magical appliances thinking they'd make everyone happy. And they ended up being the reason those two decided to stay in Grand Zawal. You never know what might serve as a turning point, but I'd say I got lucky this time. All that's left is to convince His Majesty to bring his own chefs here. I was fully prepared for that as well. I had a secret weapon ready and was even considering giving away some of the magical appliances if needed. That's how important it was to keep those two here. This was my biggest mission of the day. Why? Because everyone had unanimously agreed that it absolutely had to be done. Don't lose, Mahiro. We're counting on you, Maki-sama. Let's do our best together, Maki-san. Alicia, who was on her way with me, along with Lirina-san and Rikot-san, spoke up. They all looked me straight in the eye and encouraged me. Even Ryan-san exerted some silent pressure. It seems Ren's cooking and desserts have captured the hearts and stomachs of both the ladies and Ryan-san. Why yeah, I'll do my best. Besides, it wouldn't be fair to those two if I didn't try. We're counting on you, Maki-tilda. Please take care of this, Mahiro-kun. With the two chefs looking at me with desperate expressions, I clenched my fist and gave them a reassuring nod. It'll be fine. After all, I've got a secret weapon ready. I patted my magical bag lightly as I spoke. Yaku-san, seeing this, looked a bit surprised before quickly smiling warmly. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Mahiro-kun. I smiled back at Yaku-san, then turned toward Maria and Alicia. Wait, what's with Alicia? Why do you look so upset? I'm not upset. Really? Then why do you seem angry? I'm not angry. No, anyone can see that you're clearly. I said I'm not angry. Let's just go, Taiku-sama. No way. Saying you're not angry is a bit of a stretch, isn't it? Just as I was thinking that, I felt everyone else's gaze on me. When I turned around, I realized that everyone present was staring at me. What? Why is everyone looking at me? How? A collective sigh. Wait, what? Is this my fault somehow? In the end, no one told me what I did wrong, and we teleported to the royal capital. Whoa. We've actually arrived at the royal capital. Well, technically, it's a forest near the capital. But still, wow, that was instantaneous. Yeah. The power is incredible. Thank you, Taiku-sama. Haha, don't mention it. This time, the group meeting His Majesty consisted of me, Alicia, Moriya, Yuria, and Arata. Alicia was coming as the Lord, while Yuria and Arata were here as guards. As for Moriya, not only could he use teleportation magic, but his presence was also necessary for formal introductions. Well then, shall we? With that, we started walking out of the forest and toward the royal capital. Angrasa. Episode 209, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 10. Episode 209, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 10. Ah. Mahiro, I've been waiting for you. Let's head out right away. Hold on. Please wait, Your Majesty. As soon as we were brought into the royal chamber, His Majesty stood up from his chair and eagerly approached us the moment the doors closed. I couldn't help but think, is this really okay? Glancing over at Dietrich-sama, I silently pleaded for help. Your Majesty, may I ask you to step back for a moment? It seems you're troubling Mahiro-sama. Oh? Am I? Very well, I shall step back. Thank you, Your Majesty. I shot a quick look of gratitude at Dietrich-sama before composing myself and explaining my invitation to the hot spring town of Grand Zawal. By the way, Mahiro, what exactly is this onsen district? I cannot picture it at all. I'm curious too. Even after reviewing ancient records, I couldn't find any mention of an onsen district. Could it be that the otherworlders in the past never discovered hot springs? Well, the hot springs we found were located deep within the forest of demons. So it's not surprising they couldn't be found elsewhere. Simply put, it's like a bath. A bath? Yes, but it's a very relaxing and beneficial kind of bath. I explained it briefly, but neither of them seemed to grasp the concept fully. Well, you'll understand once you visit. Also, I hope you'll allow us to properly extend our hospitality to you. I am accustomed to daily hospitality from my subordinates. Do you truly think you can surpass that? His Majesty gave a sly smile, and I returned it with one of my own. We might not be able to handle the finer details of personal service, but I can guarantee that the meals will be satisfying. Meals, you say? We have intermediate class chefs here, you know. Intermediate class? That would put them on par with Yaku-san. However, considering they're royal palace chefs, they likely don't specialize in desserts like Yaku-san does. On our end, the lead is Rin, an advanced class chef. Hey, there's no doubt they'll be pleased with the food. Just so you know, we also have an intermediate class chef. And, we even have an advanced class chef. An advanced class chef. Good, good, that's the reaction I was hoping for. So, I have a request. Could you bring a chef from here to Grand Zawal? You mean to teach us their techniques? Yes. Both of our chefs are from another world like me, and they've chosen to stay in Grand Zawal. Even if Your Majesty wanted to bring them here, it wouldn't be possible. Okay? Well, yes, I suppose that's true. Phew, good thing I preemptively made that clear. His voice sounded undeniably disappointed. However, our chefs do want their delicious dishes to be enjoyed by many people. If you could send a chef to us, we'd be happy to provide recipes and other training. I capped it off with a wide smile to drive the point home. I wasn't planning to force it that much anyway. Oh? I feel like Your Majesty could make it happen if you really wanted to. And not at all. I'll send the chef as requested. Hey, success. Still, it feels like my secret weapon wasn't necessary after all. But since we're at it, let's ask for a pastry chef too. By the way, here is a baked treat made by our intermediate class chef. A baked treat? Made by an intermediate class chef. His Majesty sounded a little disappointed. But this was Yaku-san's masterpiece, crafted specifically to convince His Majesty. Please try a bite. And, if possible, consider sending a pastry chef as well. A pastry chef at the intermediate class, you say? Very well. Let me taste it. In that case, Your Majesty, Allow me to try it first. Ah, then I'll go first as a taster, for poison testing purposes. Ah, the classic. Being royalty sure is tough. I picked up a cookie from the bag and took a bite. Wow, it's incredibly delicious. Makey-san, that's not fair. I want some too. Share it with me. I'd like to try it as well. Wait. This is a gift for us, isn't it? Quick, Your Majesty, let's have some. Perhaps because Alicia and the others raised their voices, His Majesty and Dietrich-sama quickly took the bag from my hands. Well then, let's taste it. Yes, the two ate silently, but their expressions spoke volumes about how delicious it was. Yes, we'll send a pastry chef too. Understood. And so, the decision to send both a chef and a pastry chef was finalized. Episode 210, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 11. Episode 210, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 11. The companions for the trip had been decided. But since we had the chance, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to introduce Taiko Moriya as well. Your Majesty. Since we're here, I'd like to introduce Taiko Moriya. How does that sound? The moment I said that, the two who had been brimming with excitement froze in place. Huh? Didn't I mention we'd be traveling via teleportation? Taiko Moriya, you say? He's here? But, as for someone new among Mihiro-sama's group, there was one, but... Wait, what? Ah, yeah, that reaction makes sense. Well, due to certain circumstances, he's currently in a child's form. Nice to meet you, King of the Adelreed Kingdom. I'm Taiko Moriya, summoned as a hero in the past. Wait, seriously? Oh, looks like their usual dignified tones have completely crumbled. I understand it's surprising. But yes, it's true. Yeah, being just bones made it impossible to move around, thanks to the price of forbidden magic. But with Mihiro-kun and the others' help, we gathered the necessary materials. And now I look like this. Why, you skipped way too many details there. These two are perfectly in sync. But it's the truth, so they'll have to accept it sooner or later. Would it help if he demonstrated some magic? Magic? Should it be something flashy? That sounds dangerous. A part of the building might melt away. Melt? No need. We believe you, so please stop. It ended up sounding more like a threat, but I think we're good now. Besides, Moriya's a good guy. There's no need to worry. Thanks to Moriya, we were able to create male birds and other magical tools. Oh, other magical tools, you say? Yes. Oh, wait, I hadn't mentioned that, had I? You didn't, huh? Weird. Did I forget? Maybe it slipped through the cracks since they're kitchen appliances. Ah, they're cooking tools. We recreated items from our world. Oh. So that's how you achieved such flavors. Exactly. Yaku-san used to say that managing the fire was the hardest part when making desserts back in Shriden. Compared to that, magical kitchen appliances allow precise heat control. You can just throw in the ingredients, press a button, and bam, cooking done. It's a dream. Once your chefs learn how to use them, we'll provide the tools as well. We'd humbly appreciate that. Why is His Majesty using such polite language now? Well, that just shows how delicious Yaku-san's cookies were. So I'll let it slide. Wait, was that all for Moriya's introduction? I didn't really explain much about him. No need to fret, Mihiro. Huh? We already trust Taiko Moriya, based on what you've told us. Although, we were certainly surprised by his appearance at first. Indeed. Who would have expected him to appear in the form of a child? Then, who did you think he was when he first came in? I asked out of simple curiosity. At that, both of them fell silent. Wait, don't tell me you didn't even notice him? Ha ha ha. Seriously? The power of hospitality is something else. Anyway. Taiko Moriya, we're counting on you to take care of Mihiro from now on. Of course. It's a benefit for me too. And besides, the hot springs are amazing. You'll be blown away, Your Majesty. Is this onsen really that good? It's the best. Once you try it, you might get addicted. Moriya is seriously raising their expectations for the hot springs. Well, no matter how high those expectations climb, the hot springs can easily exceed them. If that's the case, I'd like one in the castle as well. Ah, that's impossible. Hot springs aren't something we can reproduce with magical tools, Unfortunately, I suppose that's true, Your Majesty. But in the end, His Majesty would throw a tantrum about it. Though that's a story for another time. Episode 211, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 12. Episode 211, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 12. After our audience with His Majesty, we headed to the training grounds while waiting for the selection of chefs to conclude. This was because Yuria and Aratu insisted on coming here. Honestly, I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. Because, you've come, kid. Now, let's have a mock battle. See? I knew it. I absolutely knew the Knight Commander would get involved. However, this time, two walls stood before me. Knight Commander. Let's have a mock battle. Me too, please. What's this? Yuria and Arata, is it? Fine, let's do it. Gahahahaha. HMPH, as expected of these two battle maniacs. With Sunny perched on my head, I moved to the wall to observe their mock battles. Next to me were Alicia and Maria, who were eagerly cheering them on. Yuria and Arata had fought fiercely in the Forest of Demons. The levels and stats of these two had already surpassed the Knight Commanders. The outcome seemed obvious. Or so I thought. But the seasoned warrior that he is, the Knight Commander was holding his own against them despite the level and stat differences. That person is incredibly strong. Huh? You think so too, Maria? Yeah. It feels like he has an instinct, or maybe a sixth sense. It's something developed from experience. A sixth sense, huh? Does something like that really exist? I asked, wondering. But it seemed that the sixth sense Maria referred to was entirely different from what I imagined. The sixth sense I'm talking about is something granted by one's profession. So it's not like the supernatural abilities we talk about on Earth? Yes and no. In this world, the sixth sense could mean a mage detecting mana or a hero being particularly sensitive to malice, things like that. So it's a sixth sense tailored to one's profession. The Knight Commander holds the Sword Saint profession, just like Harata. I see. And so that's why, even as the same Sword Saint, he's holding his own because of his experience. What does being a Sword Saint let you sense? Mainly, the intent of the sword. It's often called sword energy. It allows them to sense where their opponent is aiming next. Isn't that pretty much unbeatable? Now that you mention it, I had noticed both of them moving even before their opponent swung. So that's why, wait a second. Isn't that strange? If they can both sense each other's targets, wouldn't they not even need to swing their swords? I get what you're trying to say, Meiki-kun. They're already exchanging those feints and checks beforehand. Wait. So in those brief moments, they're processing all that and only swinging their swords at the final target? Maria nodded with a smile as I asked in disbelief. The Knight Commander was one thing, but to think Karata was analyzing all of that while swinging his sword. Sword Saints are terrifying. What about Yuria, then? Separate from Marata, who is a Sword Saint, Yuria was also engaging in the mock battle. Although she had already lost to the Knight Commander, she should also have a sixth sense at work. In Yuria's case, it's like an animalistic instinct. Animalistic instinct? Somehow, that seems to fit Yuria perfectly. If sword energy excels against slashes, then animalistic instinct is highly responsive to all physical attacks. Wait, doesn't that make her stronger than a sword saint? If it covers all physical attacks, wouldn't that include slashes? Well, yes. But there's a difference in precision. This is getting complicated. According to Maria, a sword saint's sixth sense is extremely accurate against slashes. They can pinpoint where the attack will land. On the other hand, with animalistic instinct, it's more of a vague sense of where an attack might come from. And the further away the attacker, the fuzzier that sense becomes. Animals can sometimes sense being targeted from a distance, right? It's kind of like that. Got it. If used for scouting, she could instantly locate enemies. No, using a special class profession like that as a scout is an outrageous idea, you know, says the one who extended their life with forbidden magic. Maria. If my ideas are outrageous, then Maria is probably 10 times as outrageous. You two aren't all that different, honestly. Alicia mumbled beside us. But I pretended not to hear her. Episode 212. Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 13. Episode 212, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 13. In the end, the Knight Commander narrowly defeated Arata as well. I could accept his victory over Uriah since the Knight Commander's level was still higher than hers, but I didn't expect Arata to lose too. Alright. Boy, you're next. Huh? I'm not doing it. Why not? Well, it's because I'm only an appraiser, you know. Then how about Maria? Me? Ahaha. No way, you've got to be kidding. Huh. So Maria isn't up for it either. What about Sunny? Pikikikiki. Okay, I'm sorry. Please don't bite my head. Even a playful nibble still hurts. Ugh. Then how about your contracted beasts, Uriah and Arata? Wow, the Knight Commander really doesn't seem to care if his opponent isn't human. Woof. Gwoo. Oh, they're raring to go, aren't they? Wait, seriously? When I glanced at the two, it seemed they were indeed eager, judging by their slight smirks. Knight Commander, can you understand their thoughts? No, of course not. He's probably just voicing his own feelings out loud. Maria was still as sharp as ever. He was quite blunt. Still, if the two beasts are willing, there's no problem at all. Actually, I can't even imagine Haku and Foss losing. Will the Knight Commander be okay? Level-wise, starting with Foss would be best. Don't you think, Kondo? That's true. Though I can't imagine Foss losing. Gwoo. Not only are all of Foss's stats superior, but the Knight Commander's strength shouldn't even be able to break Foss's endurance. While considering this, I watched the Knight Commander and Foss face off at the center of the training ground. The referee was, as usual, Vice Commander Narsen. Well then, begin. Here I come. The Knight Commander charged straight in, raising his greatsword high. Foss crossed his arms in preparation to block the attack. HMPH. Gwoo. To my surprise, the swung greatsword forced Foss slightly backward. Eh? No way. I see. He must have some kind of skill. A skill? Appraisal. Vigil Langdoria. Though I had appraised him before, I must have overlooked the skills section. It turns out you can't judge everything just by numbers. Swordsmanship, strong sword, charisma, heavy weapon mastery, and overthrow the strong? That last one sounds like a dangerous skill name, but overthrow the strong wasn't about taking thrones or anything like that. It was a skill perfectly suited to the Knight Commander. The greater the level difference with the opponent, the more his stats are boosted. That's an amazing skill. Wow, it's rare to see someone with the overthrow the strong skill. So it's rare enough for even Maria to comment on it. Plus, with heavy weapon mastery enhancing his greatsword usage, the stat gap with Foss might not be as wide as we thought. Seriously, Knight Commander? Maria explained that Foss being an intermediate tier magical beast was another reason for this situation. Wait a second. If that's the case, Haku is an advanced tier magical beast and even stronger than Foss. So maybe the same thing won't happen in their match. Well, this fight is just with Foss, after all. Of course, Maria seemed to have realized this as well and smiled wryly as he remarked, I was hoping Foss would win too, but... well, looks like that didn't happen. Huh? Crap. I was so caught up in talking to Maria that I missed the mock battle. When I hurriedly turned back, I saw the Knight Commander's greatsword gaining the upper hand in a series of clashes with Foss. At the end, the Knight Commander managed to close in on it. Take Thayer's. Gwoo. In the narrow space between them, the Knight Commander skillfully wielded his greatsword. He landed a series of blows on Foss's abdomen. Foss tried to wrap its arms around the Knight Commander to pin him down, but the greatsword struck back, repelling the attempt. This man isn't just muscle. He's seriously skilled. This ends now. Gwoo. With a loud thud, Foss's body wavered. It then fell backward, landing on its rear. The Knight Commander swung his greatsword, stopping it just beside Foss's neck. It signaled the end of the mock battle. Huff. That was an excellent match. Gwoo. Is this man seriously communicating with Foss? That's how it felt as the two shared a firm handshake, or paw shake. It was as if they truly understood each other. Episode 213, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 14. Episode 213, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 14. Alright. Next up is Haku. Contrary to my expectation that he would take a break, the Knight Commander immediately requested a mock battle with Haku without any rest. Are you sure about this, Knight Commander? Of course. On the battlefield, Enemies won't wait for you to be in perfect condition. Training must be treated as real combat, or one will never grow stronger. He's not wrong, but this is a mock battle. If you're not at your best, wouldn't it be hard to gauge the actual skill differences? While I had my doubts, Haku seemed eager. So I didn't intervene. I figured Haku would win anyway, and I hoped the Knight Commander would be satisfied after this match. I just didn't want him dragging me or Sunny into this anymore. At this point, doesn't the Knight Commander have some sort of mock battle syndrome? That's not quite right. Really, Uriah? What he has is strongman syndrome. Strongman syndrome. Well, it's not entirely inaccurate. If it were mock battle syndrome, he'd probably be sparring with his knights every day. Especially with the Vice Commander, who's second only to him in skill. What a hassle that would be. It'd be perfect if he just passed out here. You're pretty ruthless, Mahiro. Hey, I just don't want to get dragged into this. Right, Sunny? Pikia. Arata looked exasperated. But for me, avoiding involvement was all that mattered. So I hoped he'd let me off the hook for thinking that way. Meanwhile, Haku stood face to face with the Knight Commander in the center of the training ground. Foss seemed conflicted. It was unsure whether to cheer for the Knight Commander, who had fought valiantly, or for its companion, Haku. Its gaze darted back and forth between them. These two really seemed to have developed some kind of mutual understanding. The mock battle will now begin. Ready, start. Woof. Nua. At the signal to start, Haku immediately lunged forward. It swung a sharp strike with its foreleg. The Knight Commander managed to react just in time, blocking it by the skin of his teeth while staggering backward. Seeing him off balance, Haku pressed forward for a follow-up attack. HMPH. To counter, the Knight Commander slammed his greatsword into the ground, kicking up a cloud of sand as a smoke screen. However, this wasn't nearly enough to make Haku lose sight of its target. Instead, Haku seemed to assess that the Knight Commander wouldn't be able to see through the sand cloud and moved calmly. Haku's moving without making a sound. Yes, it's probably planning to attack from behind. But don't you think Vigil-sama has already anticipated that? At my comment, both Uriah and Arata shared their thoughts. And they were both right. Haku swiftly maneuvered to the Knight Commander's rear, aiming to strike through the sand cloud. But as it leapt in, a sharp slash tore through the cloud, scattering it and forcing Haku to halt its advance. Had he continued, the Knight Commander's blade would have caught it. But Haku seemed to have anticipated even that. Impressive. Timing its dodge perfectly with a small backstep, Haku avoided the upward slash. Landing gracefully, he immediately surged forward again. It was accelerating faster than ever before. With blinding speed, Haku aimed a headbutt directly at the Knight Commander's chest. Gah! The sheer force of the impact caused the Knight Commander to let out a pained gasp as he was slammed against the wall of the training ground. The match was decided. Winner, Haku. Cheers erupted from the knights watching near the wall, while the Vice Commander hurried over to check on the Knight Commander. Good grief, Vigil-sama is unbelievably sturdy. Ha ha. Gaha ha ha. That was an incredible charge. Wow, his laughter reached all the way over here. If this weren't a mock battle, I'd be dead. Indeed. Instead of a headbutt, Haku's fangs would have been at your throat. Scary. But yeah, in a real fight, it probably would have gone straight for the neck. Despite overcoming the level gap and defeating Foss, the Knight Commander just couldn't best Haku. That guy is seriously amazing. You mean being strong even in defeat? Exactly. I never thought he'd hold his own so well against Haku. That's not just the effect of his overthrow, the strong skill. It's strength he's earned through relentless training. I hadn't seen Moriya this excited in a long time. For someone like Moriya, who has lived for centuries, to acknowledge him. The Knight Commander really is a monster. Episode 214, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 15. Episode 214, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 15. Even the ever-stubborn Knight Commander seemed to decide that continuing with Mock's battles was too much for now. He laughed heartily, seemingly content. According to the Vice Commander, he only suffered some bruises, but considering he had been slammed against the wall, it was hard to believe it ended with just that. Well, since the man himself stood up laughing loudly, I had to assume it was true. Isn't the Knight Commander ridiculously sturdy? That's why he's the Knight Commander, isn't it? Uriah, have you gone all muscle brain too? Excuse me, Mahiro. What is that supposed to mean? Urias shouted indignantly. But, it's exactly what it sounds like, young man. We shall have another mock battle next time, ha. Somehow, I don't think that next time will ever come. I'll be heading your way as His Majesty's escort. I look forward to sparring over there, ... What? Wait, is the Knight Commander really coming along? I instinctively glanced at the Vice Commander, who gave a small nod with a shrug. You're kidding me. Great. That means I can have mock battles with the Knight Commander even at the hot spring town. Indeed. Training must never stop. Isn't that right, Uriah? Arata? Yes, that's true. Skipping training even for one day makes it harder to get back into form. While Uriah's agreement was no surprise, I didn't expect Arata to chime in as well. All right, I'll leave the mock battle stuff to those two. I need to avoid getting dragged into it as much as possible. The Vice Commander is coming too, right? I asked, thinking he would naturally accompany the Knight Commander as his handler. But his response caught me off guard. No, I must remain here to oversee the defense of Angrasa in Vigil-sama's absence. Unfortunately, I won't be joining you. Wait, seriously? Yes. So, I'll leave Vigil-sama in your capable hands, Mihiro Dono. Gahaha. That's how it is, young man. I'm counting on you. I can't do this. There's no way I can handle this guy. If I don't actively avoid him, I'll end up dragged into mock battles myself. I'll do my best. I'm looking forward to it. Gahahaha. Later, I heard that a few knights would accompany us as guards in addition to the Knight Commander. They were familiar with us, so they didn't seem to question our presence with His Majesty. However, they looked a bit confused about how we'd get to Grand Zawal. Don't worry. You'll understand when the time comes. Seeing their confusion helped calm my frayed nerves a little. I felt bad for them, but I needed a distraction to shake off the lingering shock of the Knight Commander. While I refrained from mentioning Moriya's involvement, their bewilderment only deepened. Do you know when we're departing? Normally, we'd leave immediately, but it seems there have been changes to the personnel selection. Things have been slightly delayed, the Vice Commander explained with a puzzled look. Yeah, that's probably because of us. I wouldn't be surprised if His Majesty himself was involved in picking the cooks. After eating those cookies, he must feel compelled to choose only the best people for the task. Still, I think it'll be soon enough. I hope so. The longer it takes for the preparation to complete, the more likely the Knight Commander will have recovered and come bothering me again. Did you say something, young man? No. Nothing at all. Please go away. Even at a significant distance, he managed to overhear me. The man has the ears of a hawk. As I dealt with this chaos, Dietrich-sama came all the way to the training grounds to inform us that the personnel selection had been finalized. Then let's be off. Gahahaha. Thank you for your efforts, Mihiro-sama. Ha. Honestly, I'm exhausted. Dietrich-sama was the only one who offered me any words of encouragement, prompting a deep sigh of relief from me. Oh, Mihiro-sama, one more thing. Yes. What is it? The slightly sharp tone in his otherwise pleasant demeanor made me curious. Among the people joining this trip, the head of the Maguire family is included. I anticipated this would be to your liking and took the liberty of arranging it in advance. Oh, right. I forgot about that. Thank you, Dietrich-sama. I felt terrible for forgetting my promise to act for Lirina-san's sake. No need to thank me. But if you wish to express your gratitude, I'd appreciate it if you ensured the hospitality over there is exceptional. I'll make sure of it. Smiling at each other, we left the training grounds together. Episode 215, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 16. Episode 215, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 16. Under Dietrich-sama's guidance, we arrived at the gates of the royal castle. The preparations for departure were already complete. Everyone heading to the onsen district had gathered. Come, Maki. Let us be off. As you command, Your Majesty. However, we won't need carriages this time. The gates stood open, and beyond them, numerous carriages had been prepared, but since we were using Moriya's teleportation magic for this trip, they were unnecessary. My apologies, Mihiro-sama. I have yet to inform the castle staff about Moriya-sama. Ah, I see. So that's the situation. In that case, Revealing his true identity on my own would be a bad move. But then again, wouldn't it be strange if a child were speaking so fluently? Hey, Maki-kun, how about we say we're using an ultra-advanced magical artifact for teleportation? It was Moriya himself who proposed the idea. That's a pretty outlandish excuse. Don't you think? Is it? People know about your appraiser, Divine Eye, to some extent, so it shouldn't be a problem. Moriya's words were overheard by Dietrich-sama, who gave me a small nod of approval. Fine. It'll end up being credited to me, though. Sorry about that. That's fine. I'll get to avoid any trouble, after all. That's your real motive, isn't it? Come on now, it's a legitimate suggestion to get us through this situation. Cut me some slack. Moriya smiled innocently, like the child he appeared to be. I wanted to yell at him right then and there, but anyone watching would just see a high schooler scolding a kid. I decided to save my shouting for when we got back to the onsen district. We'll be traveling this time using a teleportation artifact created in Gran Zawal, so the carriages aren't necessary. As I said that, murmurs of amazement rippled through the crowd. Well, that made sense. Using teleportation magic was impressive enough on its own. But doing so with a rare artifact, and having supposedly created it, was another matter entirely. Two individuals, in particular, seemed especially shocked. Judging by their appearances, they weren't knights. Curious, I used appraisal on them. My apologies. They were the chefs accompanying us. While I was at it, there was one more person I wanted to identify. Appraisal, head of the Maguire family. Before arriving at the onsen district, I needed to figure out who had mistreated Lirina-san. I'll make sure they regret it when we get there. There he is. So, it's that guy, huh? He was a middle-aged man with purple hair, just like Lirina-san. He was chatting and smiling with those around him, but I wondered what he thought of Lirina-san's success. If he suggested replacing her with someone more capable, I'd reject it outright. I was sure His Majesty would back me on that. Hey, how should I go about making him regret it? Anyway, time to move things along. Wasting any more time here would be unproductive. Are all members of the group accounted for, Dietrich-sama? Yes, everything is in order. Understood. I will now activate the teleportation artifact. As I said that, Moriya discreetly activated the teleportation magic. A teleportation magic circle appeared on the ground. Everyone, please step onto the magic circle. Is everyone on board? After checking to ensure no one was left out, I received a final confirmation from Dietrich-sama. With that, I signaled Moriya. Alright then, here we go. The teleportation circle glowed. And in the next instant, the teleportation magic activated. Episode 216, Preparations for Hospitality in the Onsen District. Episode 216. Preparations for hospitality in the onsen district. While Maki and the others headed to the royal capital, those remaining in the hot spring town were busy preparing for their guests. The preparation efforts were being directed by Glenn, Haruka, and Ryan. Glenn handled the accommodations and hot spring arrangements for the visitors from the royal capital. Haruka, along with Ren and Sumaya, worked on preparing the meals, while Ryan supervised the town's security with soldiers like Vil and Rickot to ensure safety around the area. Everyone was putting in their utmost effort to make the royal inspection a success. Are the inns ready? The hot springs seem fine, too. Now, what to do if more people show up than expected? Sufficient lodging had been secured to accommodate a considerable number of guests. Even if there was an overflow, the innkeepers were reassured that any additional costs would be covered by Alicia, the local lord. However, Glenn raised a critical concern, handling unexpected numbers. When the town first opened, there were few visitors, so it wasn't an issue. Now, however, adventurers and tourists alike flocked to the town. The presence of the nation's king would undoubtedly cause a stir. While they anticipated knights from the royal escort ensuring security, they also knew their local team had to strengthen their measures. The security for the reserved inns is solid. If we need more, I'll coordinate with Ryan-san and the others. Phew. It's tough, but I've got to do my best. Glenn steeled himself. He was inspired by the hard work of Maki and his sister Alicia in the capital. Haruka was busy preparing a massive amount of food alongside Rin, Sumaya, and the local cooks. While Ren and Sumaya worked efficiently, some of the cooks were initially bewildered by the unfamiliar techniques introduced by Haruka's team. Yet, as professionals, they quickly adapted and were eager to learn new skills. Once they adjusted, the cooks closely observed Haruka and Sumaya's methods, keen to improve their craft. Even if they failed at first, they managed to succeed in subsequent attempts under Haruka's encouraging guidance. Will this much food be enough? It should be fine. And if it runs out, I'll whip up something on the spot. That's so like you, Momyu-kun. What about you, Sumaya? You're handling desserts all on your own. When establishing the onsen district, Alicia and Glenn had planned for a large number of guests. So they had hired many cooks for the main meals. However, there weren't any chefs specialized in desserts among them. While the meal prep cooks could handle simple desserts, intricate sweets were left entirely to Sumaya. No worries. Akige-sensei is helping me out. That's right, Momyu-kun. So, just focus on doing the best you can. Got it. Haha, now I'm actually looking forward to this. The more I can show off my quick cooking, the better. Ren's cheerful attitude lifted the spirits of the group. Haruka and Sumaya exchanged a glance and smiled warmly. Meanwhile, Ryan and the soldiers ventured into the forest of demons. They were hunting monsters to ensure safety. Although monster hunting was part of their regular duties, this time they were taking extra care in anticipation of the royal visit. Some soldiers were nearing level 50. But even then, none could handle monsters in this area alone. The forest was accessible only via a teleportation magic circle. It was a remote and perilous location. Monsters near the town were manageable, but those in the hot spring area posed significant danger. Always have at least 5 people tackle a single monster. If you think it's too much, retreat immediately. Report to me, Phil, or Rickert. What? Me? Rickert exclaimed in surprise, not expecting her name to be called. Although a lower class, Rickert had surpassed level 50. It made her the most skilled after Ryan and Vil. Her consistent training alongside them had earned her respect, even from senior soldiers. Have confidence, Rickert. You're getting stronger. That's right. However, as a lower-class profession, you still don't match up to me or the captain. If you face the monsters with your comrades instead of alone, you should be fine. Why yes. Understood. Good. Now, let's begin the monster hunt. Everyone, don't die out there. Yes, sir. Ryan and the soldiers stepped into the forest of demons, a place filled with vicious monsters. Each soldier went about their tasks, and preparations for the royal visit continued to move forward. A little while later, Maki and the others returned to the designated area. Episode 217, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 17. Episode 217, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 17. We're back. We're already used to it. But for the king and his entourage, it's another story. Having suddenly been transported to an unfamiliar place, it's only natural for them to be confused. And a part of the people traveling with us have little interaction with us. They must find it almost unbelievable. However, this is reality. And there's no mistaking it. We're standing in the middle of the forest of demons. We've arrived. Maki, is this really the forest of demons? Yes, Your Majesty. Dietrich-sama, could you please check to ensure no one has gotten separated? Understood. Dietrich and the Knight Commander had previously gone to war against the Shridden Kingdom. While they both seemed fine, not all of the entourage had experienced teleportation multiple times. So some were still feeling a bit disoriented. I couldn't help but think that it was a bit odd for them to be so bothered. But teleportation was considered a large-scale magic in this era. Having it happen so easily must have been more shocking than they anticipated. And perhaps it was even a bit terrifying. Maki-sama, it seems no one has gotten separated. I didn't think so, but it's good to hear. Now, please follow me. And from here on out, I'll leave things to Alicia as the Lord. First of all, Your Majesty, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for your visit to the Grand Zawal and the Onsen District. From here, formal greetings continued. Alicia gave her thanks to the king. His Majesty explained that his visit was not only for an inspection, but also to personally observe future plans for the development of the Forest of Demons. After Dietrich-sama and the Knight Commander each exchanged their greetings, The group finally began to move. Alicia and I led the way for His Majesty, Dietrich Sama, and the Knight Commander, while Ryan-san and Vil-san from the Knight Order provided security. Galen and Sensei took care of guiding the other important people. At this point, Galen had already confirmed the number of people who had arrived, and he was likely calculating how to handle the accommodations in his mind. If any issues came up, I figured we'd hear about it then. Then we could decide if additional arrangements were needed. Now, Your Majesty, shall we go? Yes, let's proceed. The destination was one of the most luxurious inns in the hot spring town, a place I could confidently say was the most relaxing. Western-style beds had been prepared, but there was also a tatami mat section in the room. Creating tatami mats was quite the challenge. But I had assumed they were a must for a hot spring town, so I somehow managed to make it happen. Though I couldn't find the right kind of straw, it was a stroke of luck that Maria managed to find a suitable plant in the forest to use instead. Come to think of it, Maria actually had tatami mats in his house, huh? Well, that was a fortunate coincidence. It wasn't exactly planned, but I had as many mats made as possible. And I had the free hands available to teach others how to make them. They quickly began producing a large number. Additionally, I had attempted to recreate a beautiful Japanese garden in the room's view. I had only ever seen such gardens on TV or in magazines, so it wasn't perfect. But it would surely be an exotic sight by the standards of this world. Ho ho. This is wonderful. Indeed, it truly is. Even the scent of the mats brings a sense of calm. What a beautiful garden. But where am I supposed to practice my swordsmanship? Ah, of course, the musclehead makes an unexpected comment. Seriously? Well, we'd appreciate it if you could swing your sword in the forest of demons. Oh, that's true. In that case, perhaps I'll visit the forest during our break. Ha ha ha. Is that really considered a break? Well, I don't understand the logic of muscleheads, so I'm just going to ignore it. In any case, His Majesty seemed to love the setup, so I was relieved. But the hospitality doesn't stop here, you know. Of course. It's the food, right? The food. That's part of it. But you'll see what I mean when it's time to sleep tonight. What, are you planning to provide a woman for me? I'm the king of this country, you know. Of course not. If that were the case, I'd be executed for committing a capital offense. Worst case, if His Majesty actually went for it, we'd end up with succession issues. I was joking. Just joking. Sigh. Please, stop with the jokes, Your Majesty. But what do you mean by tonight? Now I'm really curious, boy. Well, you'll just have to wait for tonight. I didn't give him a clear answer about tonight's hospitality, but I was confident in it. So, we'll just have to let the king's reaction be a surprise for tomorrow. Episode 218, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble. 18. Episode 218, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble. 18. After everyone placed their belongings in their respective rooms, they returned to the gathering spot with a guide. Some knights and soldiers stayed behind at the inn to act as lookouts, so it would be a good idea to send them some refreshments later. Waiting around doing nothing can be surprisingly mentally exhausting. Well then, Maki, where do we head first? Is it to this onsen? It seemed His Majesty was eager to soak in the hot springs. But first, we needed to conduct inspections of the onsen district and the forest of demons. A soak would surely feel better after working up a sweat. First, we'll inspect the onsen district. After that, we'll strengthen the escort and head to the forest of demons. I believe the onsen will be more enjoyable once we've worked up a little sweat. So we'll visit it afterward. Is that so? What a pity. Hey, you there. As His Majesty looked disappointed, I heard a voice that sounded like an angry shout from behind me. When I turned around to see what was going on. Ah, of course. It's you. Is there a problem? Is there a problem? His Majesty has expressed his desire to visit this so-called onsen first. Isn't it only natural to prioritize that? However, we wish for His Majesty to enjoy the onsen in the best condition possible. Which is why, who cares about your convenience? Now, Your Majesty. Let us head to the onsen at once. This guy is such a pain. But I must hold back. It's not my place to deal with him. What nonsense, Maguire. If Maki says it's best to enjoy the onsen in its optimal state, then it's only proper to follow his suggestion. What? Maguire-sama? Are you questioning His Majesty's judgment? Oh, of course not. Ha ha, ha ha ha. This guy, Lejiriko Maguire, is none other than the father of Lee Rena-san and the head of the Maguire family. He didn't seem to expect a rebuttal from His Majesty and was stunned. But when Dietrich-sama questioned him about opposing His Majesty's words, he let out a hollow laugh, though he quickly retreated to the back. Once he moved out of sight of His Majesty and Dietrich-sama, he shot me a glare. Let's go then, Maki. Ha ha. Yes, let's proceed. His Majesty looked rather satisfied as he said this. But I couldn't help wondering if he'd anticipated Lejiriko's complaints. If so, it would have been nice if he'd given me a heads up. As I mulled over this, we walked through the onsen district. I occasionally paused to explain the buildings during the inspection. Despite the size of our group, the inspection was progressing smoothly. Until he caused another commotion. Hey! How dare you walk past His Majesty without permission, huh? Who are you supposed to be? Coming in here and acting all high and mighty, must be some noble, huh? Indeed. And that gentleman is none other than the ruler of the kingdom of Adelreed. Well, you've sure gone out of your way to come all the way here. Alicia-sama's got her hands full with this bunch. Hang in there, Maki. The people who passed by were adventurers I'd grown acquainted with. While they looked puzzled at the sudden presence of such a large group, they were kind enough to step aside by the wall. However, to Lejiriko, even that wasn't sufficient. Honestly, I wish he'd notice he's the only one shouting here. His Majesty had been enjoying the inspection so far. But thanks to this outburst, his expression grew tense. Dietrich. Yes, Your Majesty. His Majesty whispered something into Dietrich-sama's ear. Afterward, Dietrich-sama approached Lejiriko and spoke to him. Lejiriko's eyes widened in shock before he repeatedly bowed toward His Majesty, but even then, he didn't forget to glare at me one last time before leaving. No, seriously. This has nothing to do with me. I wanted to say that, but causing unnecessary trouble would only lead to more issues later. So I swallowed my complaints. Well then, I'd like to proceed with the inspection of the Forest of Demons. While we've already cleared out some threats using soldiers from Grand Zarwal, nothing in this world is ever absolute. To account for any unlikely scenarios, I propose limiting this inspection to volunteers. I shall go, Maki. I will accompany you as well, Maki-sama. Almost as soon as I finished my explanation, His Majesty and Dietrich-sama both volunteered to join. Now, I wonder how the others will respond. Especially Lejiriko. Episode 219. Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble. 19. Episode 219, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble. 19. This is unacceptable, Your Majesty. And the Chancellor, how can you agree instead of stopping him? Of course, it's you again, Lejiriko. The Forest of Demons is synonymous with danger. It's unthinkable to set foot in such a place. Besides, this is a location transported here via teleportation. We can't even be certain it's truly the Forest of Demons. In fact, the very idea of constructing a place like this inside the Forest of Demons is absurd. Oh great, now he's not just denying me but the entire onsen district. And by extension, he's also denying Alicia and the others. While I can let his insults toward me slide, it doesn't sit well to have him disparage Alicia and the people here. Hey, you, enough of this nonsense. Lejiriko Maguire. What did you say? Before I could speak up, Alicia stepped in and stole the spotlight. I don't mind if you speak poorly of me. However, I cannot tolerate your disrespect toward the people who worked so hard to build this onsen district. Oh? Are you challenging me? You do realize I am the head of the Maguire family, correct? I could very well summon back that foolish daughter of mine from here if I so choose. Silence. As Alicia and Lejiriko clashed, His Majesty raised his voice, silencing them both. Your Majesty. You see, even His Majesty, I was speaking about you, Lejiriko Maguire. Yes, of course, Wait, me? Your Majesty. Lejiriko clearly misunderstood at first. He looked stunned as he turned to face His Majesty. This land has been protected by the Yamato family for generations. Without their contributions, the kingdom of Adelreed would not exist as it does today. And yet, you dare to speak such insults. Shame on you. I was merely concerned for your Majesty's safety. When I say I shall go, there is no issue. Now apologize to Alicia Yamato for your words. Ugh. Even with His Majesty's reprimand, Legiruko was reluctant to apologize. Just how inflated is this man's pride? It's fine, Your Majesty. Simply having Your Majesty acknowledge this place is honor enough for me. Unbelievable. To think a man like you would have to be lectured by someone young enough to be your daughter? The Maguire family has truly fallen. That's not true. I would never. Enough. I am going to inspect the Forest of Demons. Vigil, accompany me with a selected guard of knights. Understood. Following this, not only knights but also a few civil officials volunteered to join the inspection. I am a mage sworn to protect His Majesty. I shall accompany you as well. Even Legiruko declared his intention to join. His audacity was so blatant that I couldn't help but feel a twisted sense of respect for it. Still, in a way, this was advantageous. The inspection's security wasn't solely entrusted to the knights. Soldiers from here would also form the protective detail. Among them was none other than Lirina-san, the daughter Legiruko had called foolish. This was her chance to showcase the strength she had gained here and prove herself to her father. Your Majesty. Preparations are complete. Good. Let's proceed, Maki. We've also arranged an escort on this side. Let's meet with them and head to the Forest of Demons. HMPH. There's no way these soldiers can compare to the knights of the royal capital. I must personally ensure His Majesty's safety. I can hear you, Legiruko. Actually, I bet you're saying it loud enough on purpose. Well, no matter. I'm looking forward to seeing the look on your face when the time comes. Episode 220, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 20. Episode 220, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 20. The area surrounding the onsen district had already been cleared of magical beasts. However, more continued to emerge from deeper within the forest. And no matter how many were hunted, it was never enough. HMPH. What is this disgraceful state? At this rate, you won't even be able to protect this so-called onsen district. And of course, as soon as we arrived at the magical beast-infested area, Legiruko began his endless string of meaningless complaints. As grating as his words are, it's not my place to argue back. Dealing with nobles at times like this is such a headache. Gahaha. This is great fun. It's been ages since I've faced magical beasts with this much fight in them. The Knight Commander's enthusiasm, while loud, is the complete opposite of Legiruko's whining and is genuinely appreciated. The other knights were equally motivated. But I'd still have Ryan-san and Vil-san make additional preparations. Even the royal knights would hit their limits without the special fruit that temporarily boosts abilities. Honestly, the Knight Commander might be the only one who can fight magical beasts at his full capability. Now then, everyone. Form groups of at least 4. This part of the Forest of Demons is far from the onsen district, and the magical beasts here are particularly strong. Stay alert, Your Majesty. I will personally protect you. Please, come this way. Right this way. What a pain. If His Majesty decides to move forward, the Knight Commander will have to accompany him. If that happens, yeah, someone's bound to lose their temper. Legiruko. What nonsense are you spouting? His Majesty is with me. You can focus on protecting yourself. What are you saying? If anything, you should be the one to step aside, Vigil. I wonder who outranks whom, Legiruko or the Knight Commander? Regardless, the one causing trouble is clearly Legiruko, and I'd really like him to stop. Alicia-sama. Maki-sama. The escort preparations are complete. Ryan-san's report came in just then. So it's time. That means one of the escorts must include her, Lirina-san. Huh? Father? You. Lirina. You've been ignoring my orders. What is the meaning of this? See? Just as I thought, another headache. Well, I'd planned for them to meet eventually, and this inspection was meant to showcase Lirina-san's abilities. So let's see this as an opportunity. Legiruko-sama, Lirina-sama has greatly contributed to the development of the Forest of Demons. HMPH. As she should. Otherwise, the Maguire family would lose face. However, This girl didn't even bother to respond when my son, the next head of the family, said he would come here. That's because I told him he wasn't needed. What did you say? Alicia-sama? Alicia just picked a fight with Lejiriko. Lirina-san looked flustered, as the one directly involved. But it showed how much Alicia valued her. Honestly, Lirina-san has become an irreplaceable part of our team. So I completely understand Alicia's sentiment. Are you saying a nobody like you dared to dismiss the instructions of me, the head of the Maguire family? This is intolerable, absolutely intolerable. Regardless of what you say, Lirina-sama is indispensable to us. She's someone no one else can replace. Are you implying my son is inferior to this foolish daughter? Foolish daughter, you say? That's right. I sent you to this remote land because you were deemed expendable. If it were truly important, my son would have been dispatched by royal decree and achieved. Oh? That's not something you should be saying so freely, Lejiriko. Ah. And there he goes. He just said it outright. Episode 221, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble. 21. Episode 221, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble. 21. Lejiriko's words were unmistakable. Anyone who heard them would understand he had essentially said, I had no choice to comply since it was a royal decree. But since it was a remote area, I sent my foolish daughter instead. And who should have overheard that but, oh. No, that is to say. What I meant by that, Your Majesty. Are you telling me that you disregarded my command to send someone fully capable and instead dispatched the daughter you referred to as a fool? No, not at all. Ha. When I said foolish, it was a mere slip of the tongue. She is certainly competent, so it's not a matter of inadequacy. Of course, Lejiriko-sama. That's exactly what I've been saying from the start. What? Alicia suddenly stepped in, offering an unexpected lifeline. Lejiriko stared at her. He was clearly unnerved. Lirina-sama is an indispensable member of our group. She's someone who cannot simply be replaced by anyone else. Oh, is that so? I see. If that's the case, Lejiriko, no matter what authority you claim, it would be unreasonable to send your son in her place. After all, this deployment was mandated by royal decree. Oh, of course, Your Majesty. Ha. Alicia skillfully turned Lejiriko's blunder into a situation that ensured Lirina-san could stay. As expected of a true leader. Even with my appraisal skill, I wouldn't have been able to pull that off. I just don't have the nerve. On top of that, Alicia casually wrapped an arm around Lirina-san's shoulder at the end. She was subtly showing their close bond to everyone present. Such attention to detail. Still, could Lejiriko stop glaring at me? I swear, I had nothing to do with this one. Now then, His Majesty will be accompanied by Dietrich-sama, the Knight Commander, and Lejiriko-sama? Of course. I shall personally protect His Majesty. Understood. On our side, Alicia, Ryan-san, and Lirina-san will come along. Wow. Me? When I informed Lirina-san she would be joining us, she looked at me in shock. From the corner of my eye, I noticed Lejiriko smirking. Well, I couldn't wait to see that smug grin turn into a grimace of surprise soon enough. You'll be fine, Lirina-san. Alicia will be with you, and I'll be there too. Besides, everyone here knows how much stronger you've become by training in the Forest of Demons. I understand. Seeing Lirina-san clench her fists in determination, I exchanged a nod with Alicia. Let's set out. Everyone else, please coordinate with the escort knights. Of course, our soldiers will accompany you as well. The knights trusted us, which helped keep things smooth. While the ministers and other dignitaries hesitated, our soldiers coordinated the escort arrangements. With Vil-san, Rikot-san, Arata, Madoka, and Yuria among the other guards, we probably had more than enough firepower, possibly too much. Wait. Does that mean our group is the weakest? No, with the Knight Commander, we're fine. Lejiriko, though. He's a liability. Maybe that's a problem. Let's move, Maki. Huh? Oh, yes, understood. You there? Such insolence in addressing His Majesty. Have you no respect? Shall we, Alicia-sama? Maki-sama? Yes, let's. Dietrich-sama. Why are you lot? Stop ignoring me. Stop ignoring me. Haha, what a lively group. If only we could leave Ledgerico behind. Such thoughts lingered as we prepared to set out. Episode 222, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 22. Episode 222, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 22. We had just stepped out of the onsen district. We were into the depths of the forest of demons when we encountered a magical beast. Ledgerico started complaining immediately, though that didn't last long. Why you lot? Hurry up and kill it. At first, he had arrogantly proclaimed, I'll take care of this, while casting magic with confidence. But the moment his spell was casually swatted away by the beast, his face froze in shock. Still clinging to his pride, he cast a few more spells, but only for them to be deflected, destroyed, or absorbed without so much as a scratch on the beast. The creature even scratched the area where the spell hit as if it were an itch. That was the breaking point for Ledgerico. What are you doing? Protect me at once. Gahahaha. Sorry, Ledgerico. My duty is to guard His Majesty. Same here. Why you traitors? You there, help me. He next turned to Ryan-san. But Ryan-san was busy fighting another magical beast that had approached from a different direction and completely ignored him. Fine, Lirina. Why yes. Finally, he called on his daughter, Lirina-san. With her magic, she could certainly handle or even defeat the beast, but, hurry up and step in front of me. Huh? What are you waiting for? I'm ordering you to shield me with your body. Is this guy serious? She's a mage. Isn't it standard practice for mages to attack from a distance? Why on earth is he demanding she go up front? Hey, Alicia, this is a joke, right? I'm afraid it's not, Maki-san. Father. How could you? I am the head of the Maguire family. Now, protect me with your life. This idiot of a father. Using his own daughter as a shield to save himself? He's hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. How did this fool become the head of a prestigious mage family? Maybe the Maguire family follows a strict primogeniture system? If so, what a colossal waste of potential. Lirina-san, show him what you're made of. Don't worry, Lirina-sama. We'll protect you, so do what you need to do. Understood, Maki-sama, Alicia-sama. I'll do it. Yes. That's my daughter. Now, protect me with your Giga Flame. Lirina-san unleashed her most powerful fire spell, Giga Flame. The massive fireball, nearly 5 meters in diameter, formed above her upturned palm. We'd seen it before. But for His Majesty and the others, including Dietrich-sama, a fellow mage and sage, it was their first time. Their eyes widened in astonishment. As for Ledgerico, his mouth opened and closed like a fish. He was too dumbfounded to react properly. Take this. Wait a second. I'm still here, Gwah. Boom. The Giga Flame slammed into the magical beast. It created a deafening roar and sent a wave of heat rippling through the surroundings. The nearby magical beasts fighting the knights and soldiers turned tail and fled. They were seemingly terrified of the sheer power of the magic. Did the magic scare them off? Yeah, it looks like it. These magical beasts must be unusually intelligent. Normally, they wouldn't back down based on instinct alone. Well, whatever. We achieved our goal. The purpose of this outing was twofold: to let His Majesty experience the forest of demons firsthand and to showcase Lirina-san's abilities to Ledgerico. Judging by the astonished faces around us, that goal was thoroughly accomplished. Ledgerico would have no grounds to claim she lacked ability after this. My apologies, Alicia-sama. What is the matter, Lirina-sama? I couldn't salvage any materials. Don't worry about it. After all, you were saving your father. Alicia smiled warmly at Lirina-san. But her gaze soon shifted to Ledgerico. The man was seemingly paralyzed by the fear of the magical beast or the explosion. He sat there frozen, tears and snot streaming down his face. Episode 223, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 23. Episode 223, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 23. Ha. Gahahaha. Splendid. Simply splendid. Among the many who were left dumbfounded, The first to break into laughter was His Majesty himself, Lyrina Maguire. Why yes, that was magnificent magic. It rivals even that of Dietrich, the sage. I am honored beyond words. However, my magic is still a work in progress. To compare it to Dietrich Sama's is far too generous. When Lyrina-san humbly responded, His Majesty turned to Dietrich Sama, who began to speak. No, His Majesty's assessment is accurate. Even for me, casting such a powerful spell would require significant focus. For Lyrina-sama to achieve it in an instant. I am truly astonished. Thank you very much. As the three exchanged praise, Ledgeriko had been silently observing from a distance. He suddenly stood up. Without hesitation, he interrupted their conversation, stepping in front of Lyrina. Your Majesty. What do you think of my beloved daughter? Excuse me? His abrupt action left even His Majesty at a loss for words, not to mention Lyrina-san and Dietrich Sama. From the sidelines, we all had the same reaction, complete disbelief. The ministers who had accompanied us from the royal capital could only offer strained smiles. Ha ha ha. As expected of Lyrina. This proves my judgment was correct. Right, Your Majesty. The moment he sought validation from His Majesty, it was clear he was done for. Seriously, this guy is hopeless. If he doesn't recognize the look on His Majesty's face, he's beyond saving. Enough, Ledgeriko. Why Your Majesty? Maki. Why yes, Your Majesty. His Majesty suddenly addressed me by name, catching me off guard. Still, I had a feeling I knew what was coming. Take this fool back to the capital at once. What are you saying, Your Majesty? Dietrich, I'm sorry, but could you explain this situation to the appropriate parties? Understood, Your Majesty. Maria and, oh wait, that's me. I'll go too. I momentarily forgot I was using the excuse of using a magical tool. After instructing a soldier to fetch Maria, I let out a small sigh. I was curious about how things would go here, but I decided to leave it to Alicia and the others. They'd handle it just fine. My apologies for the trouble, Maki-sama. It's my pleasure to assist, Dietrich-sama. Why you fools, stop making plans without me. Your Majesty, surely this is some kind of mistake? Even now, Ledgeriko either genuinely believed he was indispensable or was desperately clinging to his position. Either way, his future at the castle was clearly over. Oh? Are you implying I've gone senile? That's out of the question. Then return to the capital and cool your head. You didn't want to come here in the first place, did you? And never. Honestly, seeing someone argue with His Majesty so blatantly is a rare sight. While I was musing on this, the soldier returned with Maria. I've heard the details from him. What now? Your Majesty, preparations are complete. Shall we proceed? Take him away immediately. He's insufferable. Your Majesty. I swear I can still be of service to you. Please, Your Majesty. Dietrich. Yes, Your Majesty. With a snap of Dietrich Sama's fingers, Ledgeriko promptly collapsed, unconscious. You went with brute force, huh? He wouldn't shut up otherwise. Sigh. I'm sorry about all this, Lyrina-san. I hadn't expected Ledgeriko to be so self-absorbed, and I felt compelled to apologize to Lyrina-san. No, please don't worry about it. I expected this to happen. Haha, as expected of a daughter. Still. Does this mean I can stay here indefinitely? I grant you permission. Stay here and aid Alicia and Maki to the best of your ability. When Lyrina-san voiced her concern, His Majesty declared loudly. It put her worries to rest. Thank you, Your Majesty. Tears welled up in Lyrina-san's eyes as she bowed deeply, expressing her gratitude. It must have been that unbearable, returning to her family home. Well then, shall we go, Dietrich-sama? Yes. But first, let's arrange for a knight to carry Ledgeriko. Alright, let's be off. Accompanied by a knight, we teleported back to the royal capital. What a troublesome man. But at least our goals had been accomplished, so I suppose I can't complain. Episode 224, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 24. Episode 224, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 24. Whoa. My deepest apologies. The teleportation destination was a section of the royal castle's courtyard we had designated for returns. Apparently, the staff maintaining the garden hadn't expected anyone to arrive back so soon. and one of the servants let out a startled cry before quickly apologizing. "No, no, we're the ones who returned so abruptly. Please, don't let us disturb your work, you understood." After this brief exchange between Dietrich-sama and the servant, we promptly left the area. The servant was clearly puzzled by the sudden appearance. They tilted their head as they watched us leave. We all silently pretended not to notice. "I'll take Lejiriko-sama to the medical officers." "Thank you for your help. Let's reconvene in the courtyard in an hour." "Understood." The knight carrying Lejiriko departed, and the rest of us exchanged looks before exhaling in unison. "Good work, Maki-kun, Dietrich-kun." Seriously, that guy. What was he even thinking? I don't believe Lejiriko-sama was thinking at all. Ouch. But honestly, I couldn't disagree. Lejiriko's every word and action seemed tailor-made for self-sabotage. It made me wonder how the Maguire family had managed to maintain their standing with someone like that as the head. It's thanks to significant achievements in the past, especially from the head 2 generations ago. The head 2 generations ago? Would that be Lirina-san's great-grandfather? Yes. I've heard that he was the first sage of the Adelreed Kingdom. Still, you're a sage too, Dietrich-kun. Having multiple special-class individuals in the same country is impressive. "Thank you, Taiku-sama," Dietrich said, his expression softening with genuine pleasure at the compliment. "Well, it's not surprising. After all, Moriya himself is a divine-class mage, the highest rank for a magical profession. So, how are we going to pass the time for the next hour?" "If it were up to me, I'd visit the onsen district again and come back in time to meet the knight." "That sounds tempting, but I'd like to take this opportunity to discuss magic with you, Taiku-sama. What about me?" "I'm fine with that. Shall we chat over coffee? It's one of my favorites." "Are you seriously drinking coffee while looking like a child, Moriya?" "Why not? You're used to seeing it, aren't you?" "Well, I guess so." "Maki-sama, would you like to join us? I'd also like to hear about your experiences with crafting magical tools." "Magical tools? That's Moriya's specialty, not mine." "Really? Then I might get so caught up in the conversation that we'll lose track of time." Again, what about me? I have nothing to contribute to a discussion about magical tools. Dietrich-sama was seemingly oblivious to my plight. He was looking at Moriya with eyes shining with excitement. "Yep, he's in full researcher mode." "Well, I owe Dietrich-sama for a lot. If putting up with this for an hour is all it takes, so be it." "All right, I'll tag along for the hour." "Thank you, Maki-sama." "Why don't we chat in the courtyard? I'll set up a table." Moriya pulled a table set out of his magical bag and began arranging coffee cups and snacks. How prepared can one person be? And wait, those snacks? They were made by Yako-san. "Shall we begin?" I'd thought we'd have to kill time awkwardly. But with Yako-san's snacks involved, I had no complaints. We enjoyed the treats while passing the time. And when the night returned, we headed back to the onsen district. I had a feeling Dietrich-sama and Moriya would keep their conversation going even there. Episode 225, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 25. Episode 225, Hot Springs, Hospitality, and Trouble 25. As soon as we returned to the onsen district, the first thing we saw was a heap of dead magical beasts and Ryan-san crossing swords with the Knight Commander. Gahahaha. To think such a strong warrior was here all along. The world is truly vast. I am honored by your praise. I wasn't sure of the situation since we had just arrived, but it looked like the Knight Commander had the upper hand. Actually, the fact that Ryan-san, an intermediate class, could hold his ground against someone of a special class was already a testament to his incredible skill. That said, though we had just returned, it seemed this was about to end. Whoa! A strike combining raw strength and mastery over heavy weaponry sent Ryan-san, who was parrying with a straight sword, flying backward. Ryan-san managed to brace himself, grinding against the ground. But his arm appeared numb, leaving him unable to move immediately. Seizing that moment, the Knight Commander advanced. "I yield." As Ryan-san's voice of surrender echoed, the Knight Commander halted his greatsword with precision. Impressive. What do you say, Ryan Dono? Would you consider enlisting as a national knight? I'll gladly write you a recommendation. I am deeply honored. But I have pledged my life to serving Alicia-sama. I must decline. Is that so? Then let us spar again someday. Gahahaha. Ryan-san's skill was acknowledged even by the Knight Commander. It was truly remarkable. But, seriously, how did things even end up like this? Hey, Alicia. Eek. Oh, Maki-san. You're back. She hadn't noticed? Yeah, just a little while ago. So, how did this sparring match come about? When I asked, Alicia explained the events leading up to it. Apparently, while the Knight Commander was enthusiastically hunting magical beasts, he had gotten too far ahead and ended up surrounded. Ryan-san had rushed to his aid, and together, they managed to defeat the encircling beasts. If that was the whole story, Ryan-san would have been the hero. But then the Knight Commander was enamored with Ryan-san's swordsmanship. He proposed a mock battle. Yep. No matter where you go, the Knight Commander is just the Knight Commander. Ryan-san agreed to that. He initially declined, but the Knight Commander's persistence wore him down. He finally agreed. It was on the condition that they first clear out the surrounding magical beasts. And then, the Knight Commander charged forward again on his own, with Ryan-san following behind. The magical beasts were quickly wiped out after that. He's remarkably good at dragging others into his pace, isn't he? Ha ha ha. That was an excellent match, both of you. Thank you, Your Majesty. Even His Majesty seemed to have enjoyed it. Honestly, I wondered if these people had forgotten this was the Forest of Demons. The other soldiers were leaning on their weapons like makeshift canes, utterly exhausted. We've returned, Your Majesty. Ah. You're back. So, Maki, where to next? Shall we press further into the forest? His Majesty's words caused not just the knights, but also our soldiers to let out startled gasps. No, Your Majesty. Beyond this point lies unexplored territory even for us. This concludes our inspection of the Forest of Demons. Oh, is that so? Yeah, that's right. Everyone, go ahead and breathe a sigh of relief. Since we've worked up a sweat, I was thinking of showing everyone the hot springs while we clean up. From here on, we'll ensure you experience the best hospitality in the onsen district. Oh, is that so? Have we done something bad to Ledgerako by leaving him out of this? No, it's fine. Considering everything, he owes us at least this much. Every inn here has hot spring facilities, so please make the most of them. As I said that, cheers erupted from the knights. Hey. Afterward, there would be fine cuisine and drinks. And finally, some nighttime entertainment was prepared as well. We would definitely make sure they left completely satisfied. Sir Audio, here's a refined version with that detail included. Thank you for listening. We've reached the end of the free chapters. Volumes 4 Part 2 to 6 are ready and waiting beyond the paywall. To unlock them and support the series, consider contributing via Ko-fi. Until next time, more chapters, more adventures, more from the clan.